Welcome. I'm Florencia, one of the programmers with Cine Las Americas, and today we will talk to Celina Escher, the director of Fly So Far. This documentary is part of the CineNoche series, Mujeres en la Lucha. Welcome, Celina.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Great. So let's get right to it. How did you find out about Teodora and her story?
Well, I heard about Teodora and the 17 in the news, and first I was really shocked, like how is this possible that women are still, that women are criminalized for having a miscarriage or a stillbirth. So then I decided to go to El Salvador and know more about them and meet them. And this is how I contacted the collective, the feminist collective in El Salvador. And through this organization, I was able to go to the Ilopango women's prison and meet Teodora and the other 17. And then all this anger that I had, because this is so unjust, really transformed into something else, into really a great admiration to Teodora and how she supports the other women and the sisterhood they have inside the prison. And then I asked Teodora about the idea to make a film together, and then she agreed. And so this is how it started, a 5-year process to make the film. And we filmed 3 years in El Salvador in different women's prisons. We saw the different conditions. And then we had 2 years of post-production. So it was really a long process, but was really, we followed her process during all this time.
And can you tell us can you give us an update on Teodora and how are the women that were in prison that were, the whole film we want to have released, how are they doing?
Well, this is the first time I can say in a festival that all the women have been released. We are so happy about this. We didn't expect this to happen. After Teodora was released in 2018, many women also regained their freedom. But there are still women inside of the prison, but there was a lot of international pressure, and also the human rights lawyers who are working with the feminist organization in El Salvador, they are working with the cases of the 17. So their cases, their sentence has been reduced. They are not, they are still guilty in front of the system, but they are now released. And Teodora, we keep in contact a lot. And she started an organization called Mujeres Libres, and it's for and by the 17. It's an organization that they founded to support each other in the process of reinsertion. After they're being released, it's really difficult for them to get in jobs because they have a criminal record. And so this organization, Mujeres Libres, they have a safe housing, they organize workshops, reproductive rights workshops or gender workshops, different kind, or dance classes. Also, they organize scholarships so they can keep working, also organize work. And the new thing that they have been doing is they wrote a theater play based on their own story. And so now they also are performing this theater play. So this is a lot of things that happened in the last 2 years. And yeah, we're really happy also that other organizations are supporting Mujeres Libres so they can be independent and work together and support each other. So this is the big news. So all women are now free. And yes, and Mujeres Libres is working for them.
That is indeed great news. I'm so happy that what's happening to there was so unjust that it's good to see them free. Now, can you tell us about how reproductive rights doing in El Salvador? Any changes? Is that the same?
It hasn't changed. In El Salvador, abortion is still prohibited in any case. The women's organizations, they tried to decriminalize abortion for 3 cases. In the case of rape, in the case of the woman, the life of the woman will be in danger, or in the case of the fetus won't survive outside the womb. So they tried this and they brought this the proposal to the parliament, but the parliament of the current government, they didn't even accept this proposal. So it's really difficult. now, and also the President Bukele also said again he's against abortion. So now it's really difficult because also in El Salvador we're living in a dictatorship, in a state of exception. So in general, for the population, it's a really difficult situation, and especially also for women. So it hasn't changed. It has more gone to a more right-wing, extreme evangelical government that it's happening now. So it's really difficult to make any changes actually now, because also lots of feminists are being persecuted. Everybody who thinks differently, there's censorship. So the whole situation, the context is more difficult than 2-3 years ago.
Wow, yeah, speechless. And I agree that we are in a dictatorship in El Salvador, and very, very scary for the Salvadorian population. There are some similarities now between El Salvador and Texas, because Texas has very tough abortion laws. You were telling me about an organization called Sueños Sin Fronteras, and I would like for you to tell our audience what they're all about.
Yes, well, Sueños Sin Fronteras is a collective that are working for reproductive justice and immigrant justice. So they work in this intersection. So it's really interesting what they're doing. They're supporting women who are undocumented, or immigrant women, and people who can be pregnant. So this is really, they are working in San Antonio, and so they have different funds, so the Solidarity Fund and the Empowerment Fund, and this is how it depends of the situation that the woman needs, if she needs to get an abortion or she needs to have health care during the pregnancy. They also support them in this situation, and it's also founded by women, immigrant women, Latin American women, also women who have, this is what's also interesting, because it's for and by immigrant women. And especially in this situation, like in Texas or in El Salvador, women who live in poverty are the most affected by these restrictions, by the criminalization of abortion, and they're taking away our rights and body autonomy. So I think it's really important, this type of organizations, that they already know what is needed. This also, like in Mujeres Libres, they already know what the women need, and so they are organizing themselves. So I think it's really important if the audience can support Sueños Sin Fronteras, or also Mujeres Libres, because these are really important work. They're doing these collectives for and by women.
Thank you. We'll Sueños Sin Fronteras, remember that, audience, and support them there in San Antonio, which is pretty close to Austin. And so I think in closing, I want to find out if this film has been shown in El Salvador.
Well, actually, our film was censored last year ago, and 2 years ago. We tried to show the film in the cinema, so we were really amazed that the cinema, it was a commercial cinema, that said yes, they will project our film. And so everything was ready, and then the cinema asked, we needed to have a paper from the government, and then after that, the pro-lives got to know about our film, and the pro-lives organization, were 13 pro-lives evangelical pro-lives organization. They made a threatening letter to the cinema. If they show our film, they will make a lawsuit against the cinema. And this was in a context of the state of exception. So then the cinema decided to not show our film, because in the state of exception, you can be arrested you are being arrested and you don't have a right to have a lawyer. And so there's many things that many rights are being taken away. So the cinema decided, no, we are not showing the film. When the state of exception is done, then we can show it. But I mean, there's more than 2 years of state of exception, and we think this is going to be the normality. So because of these organizations, there were 13 evangelical organizations, like schools and churches, they all signed it, and the biggest pro-life organization also, to censor our film. It was a really difficult time for us, for the protagonists. But at the end, we showed our film in the Icaro Film Festival. It's a Central American film festival. And then we showed it there. A lot of people came. And then we also organized with Teodora and Mujeres Libres to show the film in different, like, smaller community screenings. So we did together with all other feminist organizations. So at the end, I mean, now the Mujeres Libres and Teodora, they have taken the film and they are showing it in El Salvador. And so what they did now is, together with the theater play, so they're showing the theater play, they are performing it, and then they are also showing the film. So now it's really nice and a combination that it's happening. And although they censored our film, there's a lot of interest of the people, and the protagonists are showing it in smaller community screenings. But the idea is that more people know about the film. I think it's the most important, that in El Salvador the people can see it.
Yeah, so I think maybe it worked out for the best, because this grassroots movement to show the film with smaller numbers and with maybe it'll reach the people that it should have reached, and who knows who would have shown up at the theater. So congratulations on that, and congratulations for Teodora, who is remaining so active, and I mean, she's quite the activist now. So
Yes.
yeah, so on behalf of Cine Las Americas, we want to thank you for your time today and for this wonderful film that is very, very important to keep in mind, especially now with the situation in the United States. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.